And yes, he's finally here, the George's The Last Nine Prime from the Yolopark AMK Pro Series, an extremely well-detailed model of the last nine design of Optimus Prime. The release of this incredible model marked the birth of the most premium line from Yolopark, which is called the AMK Pro Series, featuring model kit with improved paint application, upgraded molded details, additional accessory, die-cast part, LED incorporation, and a base. This model kit even comes with a dedicated skeleton frame, which is made of a combination of durable plastic material and die-cast part, and possesses its own dedicated paint application with weathering effects. Aside from its extremely detailed molded model part and a highly accurate paint application, the model kit prides itself in its premium articulation, which allows it to capture every single pose that Optimus Prime performed in the last 9 movies. The scale of the model kit itself also is an interesting matter. At last, it's finally arrived. My Yolopark AMK Pro Series 9 Prime is finally here, guys. Just to give you some ideas of how huge this box is. This is the Voyager class study series number 3244 or the anniversary Optimus Prime. He's pretty tall, but he's merely half the size of this box. And here is the 15th anniversary multi-pack jazz figures. You can see how huge this box is. He's much bigger than what I expected. So firstly, outside the box, we have this main plastic bag over here that contains the whole box by itself. And then on the front part, we have Yolopark AMK Pro Series die-cast transformer, because of course there's official licensing products. And then we have Optimus Prime AMK Pro Series 20cm model kit. And this even have the Yolopark logo over here next to the Hasbro logo. And on this side, we have AMK Pro Series 20cm model kit again with Yolopark and then authentic transformer up here. And backside showcase the figures AMK's in here. So of course this is an AMK model kit, so the figures cannot be transformed, but it looks really good. Look at all of those parts. So we have the frame part over here, and then we have the armor part, and then the final products we have the figure standing on a base with the Autobot logo there with the frame part and armor part put together, and it looks very movie accurate. Over here we have two modes. So basically just a regular mode for Optimus Prime from the last 9 movie, and we have the Nemesis Prime mode with that red mark on his face as well. And then we have a ton of accessories here. And of course, made in China. The figures looks really good. Just the box by itself looks so fancy. This explains why the official market price for these figures was inflated up to like $75 in the US market. But that's understandable when we account in the shipping fee and the tax as well. Now let's open the box and see what we actually have inside. Here's inside the first box. We actually have a second box of figures. So we have Yolopark die-cast Optimus Prime again, AMK Pro Series 20cm model kit in the front. Look very shiny. And then here's the side, and here's the back side of it. No glue required, no painting required, no tool required. Smart model kit. Inside the second box, you can see right away there's 3 crates in here. I think I have to flip it like this, and then we can pull them out. So we have 3 different trays. Look at the contents in here. You can already see the part. We have the top tray with those parts, basically the armor part for Optimus Prime. And then for the second tray down here, we have the main frame of Optimus Prime. In the bottom tray, we have the weapon. And then below this tray, we have the base and some alternative part for the hand. This is a pretty big base. In comparison to Study Series Jazz, you can see that it fits right inside the base. And then at the very bottom, this is the manual with instruction of how to assemble this Optimus Prime. We have step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 steps, not too bad. And then we have 3 steps to put Optimus Prime on his display space. And then on the other side, we have the description of what this Optimus Prime can do in terms of articulation. And then lastly, we have a pin. Free gifts come with Yolopark. Let's start sampling Optimus Prime. The first tray that needs to be exampled is the tray for the main frame of Optimus Prime. Starting from this point, we have to use the instruction, which is definitely not the easiest manual for us to follow that I have seen, due to simply the fact that most of the parts in the manual were not colored accurately to what appears in real life. To example the frame, it probably took me around 15 minutes to finish. Despite how this stuff may look, These steps are actually the easiest part to follow. Out of the whole process of assembling this model kit, thanks to the few amount of parts in this first tray, and all of the parts look fairly discernible. The head was the only part of the main frame that was not included in the first tray. And here is how Optimus Prime appears with only his frame. This model gives Optimus Prime standing a little taller than that of the Voyager class study series Optimus Prime. Even with just his body frame alone, the figure definitely looked very charming. And in a sense, we can argue that this figure scaled perfectly with both of the study series deluxe class figures. Definitely more accurate than the scale between the Voyager class study series Optimus Prime versus the other study series deluxe class. After assembling the frame from the material in the first tray, the next part to assemble was the chest piece and the back piece which lies in the second tray. These pieces were fairly simple to assemble. It's interesting that some die-cast parts were scattered all around, including from the chest region down to the arm and legs region. The second tray also contained most of the armor pieces on the leg region and the arm region of Optimus Prime. At this point, the included instruction manual was not very helpful, especially considering that the manual only had one leg instructed, with all of the pieces being in a different color from how they actually appears in real life. As a result, the leg's armor pieces probably cost me the longest time to finish. By going over all the leg armor pieces and look for the left and right letter on the pieces, I was able to figure out where which pieces go where without looking at the instruction manual. Fortunately, after we finished with the leg, the shoulder region and the arm region are fairly manageable. These arm pieces fit together fairly intuitively. After the overall process of approximately 40 minutes, the full model kit was successfully assembled. Either to change the parts of Optimus Prime head or to change the battery of the Yolopark head, we have to disassemble the head. Firstly, by prying out the top piece of the head, and then taking apart both cheek sides of the head, which are all being attacked via friction joints only. Because these plastic pieces are very delicate, so we try to take our time and take the parts off very carefully. The mouthpiece or the mouse guard can also be exchanged, and the eyes parts can also be exchanged. The battery cavity can stick on the head fairly tightly, so it will be easier to use a tool to actually pry it off. And to put the part back together, we can basically just go in the reverse order, by first putting back the battery holder, and then the eye piece, then following by the mouse piece, either the open mouse face or the battle mouse face. Next, we can put both of the sides of the cheeks together, and then we finish up the process by putting back the top piece of the head. After that whole process, the result will be this incredible Optimus Prime right here. You can see that he is posing in a fairly menacing pose. Look at all of these details. I love this so much. Look at that. It turned him around. We can see how much intricate details that he actually had. The figure was packed with details, and it's not that much bigger than any study series Voyager class figures at all. Of course, this figure comes at a cost that he cannot transform. It doesn't really matter if we have this much amount of modest details and extreme articulation. There's always a trade-off, especially when we look at that leader class study series Optimus Prime. Definitely, it does not look as good as this one at all in robot mode, but that one seems to have a perfect vehicle mode, and this one cannot transform. Looking at his face and his front part, you can see that he is packed with intricate detail, especially on the head. Of course, this is just the anti-native head that I put on with the nemesis part for the cheeks and the top of the head. We also have the original pieces without a red mark on top, and the cheek without a red mark to go for the normal mode of Optimus Prime. Of course, this is the open mask face instead of the battle mask face. But because I don't have battery, so I didn't plug in the battery in here. But of course, the eyes could be turned on and they are activated via magnetism. How cool is that? And look at all of those molded details just right below the neck. Look at all of that. Oh my gosh, they would look so good. The paint job actually not bad at all. Initially, I planned to custom paint this guy, but after sampling him and looking at all of his detail, I think it's kind of good enough. But it can definitely look even better if someone actually paint him off. But right now, he already got battle damage paints, as you can see in here. And of course, because this is a licensed figure, so I actually have the Autobot insignia right here too. And this part got assembled by so many pieces, and because of that, the articulation are definitely packed in very nicely as well. Look at the arm piece over here. Even for the joints on the arm, they looks very nicely as well. They have so many different pieces of color too. And of course, I'm having the shields on him right now. This shield have only one downside, is that it cannot be opened and transformed into the gun mode, but still it looks really nice. I have the articulated hand on this arm right here. I may never notice that the leg have so many small pieces packed together. And when we have sampled this guy, those small pieces are so annoying. They're so hard to find a place for them to put in. But the results are definitely worth it. I really like how this leg look. I never noticed that this have such a complicated design. I'm so glad that we finally have this in a small scale. And we finally have such an intricate figures in a small scale. Back of the legs and going up. This crotch area and the back piece area as well. Very intricate back. Very nice. Even the back of the arm as well have so many different pieces put in here. Go up with a small tag. Even the back of the head look really nice. The details on this guy are definitely comparable to even that of the 3.0 Optimus Prime. And after we example these guys right here, we still have a few pieces left, including the alternative headpiece without a red mark over here for the Nemesis Prime, and one side of the cheek without a red mark. And then we also have an alternative piece for the eyes, but I already checked the colors. It looks like the plastic color is the same, so I'm not sure why. I have two of the blue eyes. And then of course we have that battle mask face. And then we have this piece which is there to carry the shoe right here to put on the back of Optimus Prime. So basically we just have to pry this piece off and then use this in here, and that will plug into the hole right here for the shoe so that it can carry onto his back. And because the shoes over here is also have this hollow piece right there, this piece can go in here, and that it can carry both the shields and the swords over there on here. And of course we also have the alternative piece over here for one of the arm, which is for this arm right here. So we can take that off and put this in, so it will not have that hole anymore and look very natural, just like how this arm over here appear. With that same hole, we can put in this dagger in there as well, along with the shield. Beside those pieces, we have the last tray, which carry our base right here. The base surprisingly is hollow in the bottom, so it's fairly light, but it still looks really nice for Optimus Prime. And of course, there's rod first, just to put in, and this is made of metal, but bendable metal. In this tray, we also have this piece over here, which is the top of that display base, so we can use this to actually attach Optimus Prime on and then display him on the display base. We also have this piece over here to put right in front here, an Autobot insignia, but also this is a magnet to actually activate the light on the head and change the mode of the head. Other than that, we have just alternative skull for the hand. Now let's go over Optimus Prime articulation. The head can of course turn to the left side around that far and turn to the right side around that far because of the color, so he can turn 360. And he have two different joints, so of course the head is on the bone joint. The neck joint by itself can also go down a little, so it can look down quite a lot, and then he can look up around that far. As we go to the arm region, we have really nice butterfly joints, and then of course we have these joints over here which can turn 360, and then we have the bicep swivel. This bicep swivel here because we have these pieces right here, so it's limit the articulation a little, that it can only go inward up to that far, and this can go outward up to around that far. The shoulder one can go up and down like that. And then the shoulder armors on the cylinder piece, so this can also be rotated quite a bit as well. The bicep technically is on the double elbow joint, but it can bend a little over 90 degrees like this. And this can bend backward around that far, so just straight out. Then we have the wrist swivel right here. It's on the bone joint, so of course it can rotate 360. Then we have the hand articulation. So two fingers by one set we move by this choice, and then all four fingers we move with the second set. Then we have the thumb is on its own articulation. They also have the permanent band here for the four fingers and the permanent band here for the thumb. Same exact articulation to the other arm. As we go to the chest region, we firstly have this chest over here, so it can do ab crunch really nicely for the first piece. And then of course it can rotate left to right as well. And then we have another piece of ab crunch down here, which can also rotate left to right as well. And it's very natural when we use the ab crunch as well. When we bend, we'll see more details inside the back, just like the 3.0 figures. As we go to the leg region, the leg can kick backward around that far and kick upward around that far. And in here, interestingly enough, we actually have the legs on this piece right here, and we can just move that piece to make the leg articulation even better. And as for this curve speed over here, it's a little limited. It can only go upward like that, and it can also go
go downward like that, and it can go side to side, and those pieces have to move together, they don't move separately. The leg can go outward around that far, pretty much 180, a little less than 180. For the knee band, we have double knee band, which look very natural as well. Look at that. As we go to the feet region, of course the feet can rotate like that, 360, can tilt forward up to that far, to backward up to that far, and then we have another choice right here at the top of the foot, and it can bend inward quite a lot as well. Look at that ankle too, gorgeous ankle too. So in terms of articulation, this guy is packed. He can be displayed in so many poses.
As for the side comparison with MPM figures, here's how this Optimus Prime standing next to the KO unique toy Optimus Prime, the BS03 Night Prime, which is definitely one of the most affordable transformable Night Prime on the market. Then we have the Study Series scale figure, firstly the KO High Octane Bumblebee. The scale between those two figures are actually very accurate considering that Optimus Prime is supposed to be 28 feet tall versus Bumblebee being 16 feet tall. And here is how he's standing next to Study Series number 45 Rift. Next we have the scale between him and Study Series number 92 Crosshair. Then we have him standing next to Study Series number 93 Hotrod. Next is Study Series number 16 Ratchet. And then we have probably one of the most perfect scale between this Optimus Prime and the last 9 Voyager Hound. Next is between this Optimus Prime and the Voyager class Study Series 15th anniversary Optimus Prime. And we also have the KO Byway version TW1022EX Radiant. Then we have the Evasion Evasion-mode Optimus Prime. Next is the Study Series number 02 Stinger. Then we have my custom trumpeter Bumblebee, the KSI Troop. Next is the Study Series Core Class Mohawk. And of course, we have the Study Series number 11 Lockdown, which is quite short in comparison to this Optimus Prime. Next is the Study Series number 90 Galvatron. Then we have the Premier Edition Voyager class Nitro Zeus from the last 9 toy line. And of course, we also have the last 9 Megatron figures. And here is how this Optimus Prime came with the KO oversized LS05 Grimlock. Next is how this Optimus Prime came with the KO oversized LS11 Scorn. Then we have the nameless KO oversized of Strafe. Although the scale is really far from being perfect, but I think this Optimus Prime also looked really good with those KO oversized Dinobot figures. All of their Knight and Barbarian aesthetic really match well together on displays. Next, we have the scale between these Optimus Prime figures with all of the Autobots figures that I have for the Evasion and the Last Night movie. Most of these incredible looking figures are my custom figure from the Study Series line. And here is the scale between this Optimus Prime and some of the Evasion and the Last Night Decepticon figures that I have. Surprisingly, I think the scale between the Voyager class The Last Night Megatron doesn't scale too badly with this new Optimus Prime. He just have to be a little taller. And here is the scale between this Optimus Prime and all of the figures that I have for Extinction and the Last Night movie, including most of the studioseries figures from the Autobots and the Decepticon faction. I really think that the scale between these figures and the Autobot figure, including most of the Deluxe class figures and Voyager class figures, are perfect in comparison to that of the Voyager studioseries figures. If only all of the Decepticon figures are bigger, we definitely will have the perfect scale. But as of now, these figures will be the perfect stand-in for the 9 design of Optimus Prime in the studioseries line.